Hello and welcome to episode 3 of In The Prism. I am glad to be back from vacation, ready to do it all again with you guys. And I want to tell you, it's good to be back. I needed some time off. I take a lot of time off from work, so that's been a big thing. But also, speaking of time off, I want to mention real quick, and we got it's short but packed episode here. I am taking a break from getting achievements right now. I'm burned out, and I just want to take a break, take a breather. But I'm still going to be doing this podcast, and I'm getting ready for a convention, Subasakana, in about 2 or 3 months. So I'll tell you more about that as we get closer. But anyways, this is the episode I hinted at, and I'm going to say this. This is my opinion. This is my work. This is not to offend anybody. You don't have to believe everything I say here. But we are going to talk today about the achievement scoring system, the flaws in it, and how to improve. And I'm going to tell you something. I think it's going to be very interesting. I know it's a subject that triggers people on there. I know it's a subject that some people don't like to talk about. But, this is not to say this is a Mongolian clusterfuck. It's not. It's just that there is some things that need to be done, I think, to maybe tweak it, make it better. You can always make a better mousetrap, right? So, we're going to start out here with a history lesson, because achievements weren't always what they were today. In the beginning, from 2012 to 2018, 400 was the absolute limit. Achievements that could be scored. You can see right here from this Wayback Machine snapshot from 2015, a lot of these NES games had 400 points. There were some that had less points because there weren't enough achievements to really make a full set. Now, personally, I think today it is a big imbalance, because there are games like, Bubble Bubble Part 2 might be easier for someone than Castlevania 3, and so on. So now let's see what's going on today. Today, we got point tiers that go from 0 to 5 points for minor achievements, collecting a power-up, or beating a stage. 10 points on medium for intermediate actions like being a boss. 25 major for beating the game. That's hard. 50, very hard. That's a completion level. And then 100 for bonus sets. However, there seems to be some faults with this, although it's almost perfect. Here's the thing. When it comes down to the point system, sometimes, as you're going to see, it's not used in the way that you would think it is. And that is because of the way everything has changed. We will show examples of that in a little bit. But, not everything is perfect, and not all guidelines can provide a correct answer. So right now, we're going to head straight right now into some more of the regulations, some of the more the insides. This is factors to consider while scoring achievements. This is from the RA Wiki. Anyone can access it. Difficulty. Consider this for the whole set. What percent of players earn the achievement? That's something that's okay, but it can also be very misleading, especially like Kaizo, and you got like 40 players playing Kaizo and all 40 can do it. However, the achievements for you, and I think there is an imbalance for this, and I'm going to mention this in an example towards the end. Was the current score compared to other achievements? Here's the thing. There's no Cinderella shoe. It doesn't always fit. So, how much time, effort, and practice does it take to learn necessary skills to complete the game, achievement, and the guitar set? That can be a bit convoluted itself. Now, achievement span, it's a bad design to have achievements popping too frequently. Example, this is unlock achievements for both the damn boss and get a fight. Here's the thing about this. It's okay to pop 5 or 6 achievements at a time. I think that's a great thing sometimes. It makes people feel like they really did something. Now, as long as it's not like crap, like I've seen with like Steam games and stuff. As long as it's within reason, why not have 4 or 5 pop at the same time once in a while? Give people a reason to keep playing. That's the big thing. And achievement spread. Now, this is when you're dealing with 2 or more or games that are the same but on a different platform. And I got an example of that coming up. Here's the thing. I do not believe in this first statement. If the set has many similar achievements, they should be each scored lower. Bullshit. I think they should be scored about the same. And then you should try to make achievements that are different from it. And it says if it has few, it should be scored higher. I think it should be about even, and then have achievements that are different. For long games, achievements should be scored somewhat higher than short games. That matters what you're playing. Now, here is an example of what I'm talking about. This is Sonic the Hedgehog for Game Boy Advance. This is the version that people say is horrible and has lag and all this stuff in it. Let's go through the 4 different systems here. Mega Drive or Genesis, it's 5, 10, and 10's all the way down, which I don't mind that. I think that's a good way to go. Even the DS version is 5s all the way down. Although Labyrinth Zone, I think, should be 10. Scrap Brain should be 10. Final Zone should be 10 just because they are a bit more difficult. The PlayStation 2 Sonic Collection, that big, huge compilation, all 10s. That's fine. Look at GBA. 232535. That is a load of shit. I'm sorry. That is just not working. And here's the problem with this. Scrap Brain Zone, you get 2 points. Not Scrap Brain, but Spring Yard. In 60 seconds to 90 seconds, you can get 10 points on Super Mario Brothers for getting a mushroom, getting a flower, getting a 1-up, getting a star, hitting the 5,000 point bonus. And if you kill yourself, you can get maybe the 50 coins too. You can end up with 10 or 12 points. I have not completed Spring Yard under 10 minutes or 15. But I get lost on Act 3. So, there you go. Now, I'm not here to wag a tail and say shame on people for this. But this is stuff that some people that focus on points don't want to deal with this. Because it's, people find other ways to score points. And people should feel wanted. People should feel like they are scoring for a reason. And to me, this is just not the way to do it. And it shows. Too many bad progression achievements can oversaturate game freebies, and that's a very bad thing. Bullshit. Not every progression achievement is easy. And I think it's good to have a lot of achievements to get people into the game. A player deserves points for playing through a game. They do. Remember, a lot of folks are playing through these games for the very first time, and most games are quite hard to beat. Why shouldn't we reward players for go and lower playthrough? I think it should be a little bit more. Make people really like the game. And remember, too many progression teams can oversaturate game freebies, and that's a very bad thing. It's not. It's not. These are just... I think there are some people, honestly, this scares them shitless. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I do not like that way of thinking. And I understand that there is fairness. And I'm not shaming the developers, junior developers, the staff, players, or anything. I just think that it's just a simple premise that you cannot, go, oh, okay, you progress through a game. This is bad. It's like fucking backwards there, some bullshit. It's hard. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I think there is so much that one person can do. You're human. You're born to make mistakes. It's going to happen. But at the same time, this is not like you're making Steam achievements or PS5 achievements or 4 achievements or whatever. These are very good made sets. You have to go through a junior dev training to even get this. The QA is there. I just think sometimes there are some little mistakes. And I'm not here to go shame on you for making this, but we're going to do 2 examples. 2 separate games and situations I found where maybe stuff was underscored. Maybe stuff could follow the rules a little better. So we're going to have an arcade game and a rhythm game. Let's see what happens. Okay. First game is Dark Seal. It is an arcade game made by Data East around 1990. Pretty fun little beat 'em up. Takes around 30 minutes to complete, but you wouldn't think that when you look at this list. Stage 5, which you cannot see, which is the final stage, gives you 5 points. 5 points isn't bad if you go all the way down, but you can see each of these is 1 point. 1 point. This is crazy. Because, I know people are going to say, arcade games are credit feed. It's still the effort. You have to put in the button presses. You have to put in the effort. I don't have a problem with stage 1, 3, stage 2, 5, stage 3, 5, stage 4, 10. That's better progression and it looks better. This is Dark Seal 2, and half the game it's 5 points per stage, then it's 10. Then if you beat the game, it's 25, which, by the way, we saw that list a while ago. 25 is for being a game. It's okay to use that. And I think, even if it's an arcade game, as long as you give an effort and you give your best, I don't see why the points should be less. To me, the first game should match its sequel. Totally. The second game is Dancing Stage Party Edition, which some of you know in the United States is DDR. Dancing Stage is what's called in Europe. Now, DDR sets happen in a lot of Firestorm controversy, and this one is no different. This is for getting a full combo, hitting every note without a miss on After the Game on Single Maniac. It is worth 3 points. Even if you don't play with a dance pad and you play with a controller, I can tell you, someone who's played DDR both ways, it is not easy to do. To hit that many notes. It takes practice. And remember, getting the flagpole on Mario 3 is 5,000 points. You can see here, this is the step chart for After the Game on Maniac, now called Expert. There's about 200 notes in it. There's 8 notes and such. This is a song going about the same difficulty. Same game. Think You Better D. This is a song I used to warm up with when I played DDR for real. Back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. Here's this chart. There's a little more notes, but it's about the same difficulty. It's got about the same stuff. A little more of the runs and pivots, but it's not enough to really make it scary. Now, here's the thing. The developer of this game is monstrously good at rhythm games. And he was probably following the second question of what we saw earlier. How hard were the achievements for you? I think there needs to be a balance between beginners and experts. Beginners should feel like that they are getting points for the effort, and experts should feel like that their knowledge is going a lot better. And I rest my case. Anyways, at the end of the day, this is all about just trying to make the system better. I have nothing against the developers. I love them all. And, the thing is they're just points. It's something in the cloud. I mean, it's not something to obsess over. But, I think there are ways we can make the system better to make it feel a little more fair, although you can't please everybody all the time. So let's go into a couple quick things. I think that can change. I think there's an unhealthy obsession with some called points per achievement. They even have a program called OCR that says, oh, this should be 7.5. This should be 8. To me, it's a game-by-game basis. And I think there's no problem of it being a game-by-game basis. You know, what if one's 10 or 12? Have a set that's packed full of points once in a while. I'm not saying for walking from one in a room to another, give someone 50 points. But give people points they can feel like that they are really going with it. And I don't think it's an unhealthy obsession. I just think, I'll be honest, I think that maybe, and this could get me into a world shit by saying this, but I'm going to say it. I can't prove it, but I think there are some developers and there are some players that may be trying to work the system a little bit. You know, here's the thing. They can underscore, but they're really good at set. What makes you think they can't do it? I'm not saying anyone's doing this. But honestly, that's the kind of thing sometimes you have to watch for. Which, with a site of 1.2 million people, it's probably bound to happen. You know, I'm not going to say, oh, this person. That's not true. You know, innocent before proven guilty. And that's the way I feel about that. Now, maybe between 5 and 10 point achievements, maybe having a 7 point achievement between 5 and 10, and 15 between 10 and 25. I think those kind of numbers would help. I think the 15 more than the 7. I think the 7 would be kind of wacky because we can't have 7.5. We can't have fractions or decimals. And the final thing on my card here is has to be understanding between new and veteran players, and pretty much going, hey, look, you know, you're a new player and you're fighting through this game, and we feel like that you should be rewarded fairly for it. Now, fair is what other people believe. But here's the problem with this, and this is a big problem. You got expert players, and especially in rhythm games, you got expert players that can't cash in. There are other types of games where people can cash in better. And that's why I say rhythm games are a controversy, because, you know, people go, oh, well, they get to do this for a minute, doing 1.5-minute songs, or on DDR, 4-minute songs on Guitar Hero. Some of them are a lot more 4 minutes, thank you very much. But the point is, I think there is so much crap about this when rhythm games are hard to master. I will tell you, just personally, for me to get the expert on Guitar Hero back in the day, and just to say I can pass a song on expert without wetting my pants, hoping I could pass it, took me about 2 years. I started from the bottom. It took me about 3 or 4 from the beginning to pass about anything. I'm going to tell you something. DDR, it took me about that long too. Now people go with DDR, oh, you got a controller. It doesn't lower the difficulty that much. I mean, the physical part, yeah, it makes the game definitely bounce harder, and that's what makes it so intriguing. But let's be honest. I think you should be able, once in a while, to have a nice little stack of points for your work. It's kind of like if you hit a jackpot on a slot machine and you only got like 2 or 3 coins back. You're like, I sat here for 2 or 3 hours hoping this machine was hot, and I didn't get shit. And that's the thing. I think there can be that balance. Everybody, take a deep breath. Nice and out. We're through. I want to tell you this has been a tough episode for me because, you know, I know I might be put through the ringer on some of this, but honestly, This is how things have to work. And I think at the end of the day, I would not be afraid to say that the players should be allowed in some of these meetings. Or at least have us have like a town hall and talk about this. And I know Timecrush has official RA podcast. He'd be terrific to host something like this and have people talk. And I know some people are going to fight with each other. Some people are going to curse each other out. But at the same time, we have to agree to disagree. That's how some of the greatest things in history happened. Look at the Declaration of Independence here in the United States. That's how things happened. Basketball. Oh, let's have a peach basket. Oh, someone's got to climb up every time someone scores. Oh, no, wait a minute. Let's put a hole in it, and let's do that. And it's a lot better. We could always improve, and that's the main thing. And that's something that we should be looking at. We shouldn't be looking at being against each other. We should be looking at making things work for each other and helping each other out as much as we can. I want to say one more thing, and, we're going to end it here. RA is like a family to me. And I'm with like-minded people. And, having people there who are just so understanding what's going on. To me, I don't want to work against them. I want to work for you. And this is just an opinion. This is something I've had on my chest a long time. And I appreciate y'all that have listened. And, you never have to listen to it. You could have always turned it off. But, for those of you that listened to the whole thing, I thank you. If you didn't listen to the whole thing, I thank you too. But anyways, that is it. Next time we're going to do maybe a little more bubbly, happy episode. So until next time, good night, everybody.